Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm actually going to just be going over my thoughts on the new regulation that was just announced. I'm actually incredibly excited to have a regulation where they take a step back. It's been quite some time since they've actually done something like this, so I'm incredibly excited for this. There are some pros, there are some cons, but I just kind of want to go over my thought process with this and just kind of go over like anything for everybody to kind of like think about going into this next regulation. So Regulation H has been set. The dates are going to be from September 1st to January 5th, so the normal 3-month, or it's a little more than that actually, a little over 3 months, and that's amazing. It's because this is actually going to be a really fun regulation. A lot of thoughts come to mind, but I'll go over them as, you know, the video goes on. But yes, no legendaries, no paradox mons, no restricteds, no mythicals if you're putting them other than legendaries. Like, anything you think of as a legendary Pokemon is not allowed, okay? So, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, you know, paradox forms, they're not going to be allowed, all of that fun stuff. So Ruin Mons, it's just going to be a lot of fun, because of the fact of the matter is there are some Mons that are very powerful. You know, we see one right here. Yes, I don't have to explain it too much, but the fact of the matter is we are going to have so many different types of Pokemon to come back to. Like, I mean, you know, I start thinking of like teams that I was building way early in this regulation, let alone just like how, I don't know, like Regulation A was so cool because there was literally just a whole bunch of new mons to play with. There's so many cool new toys, and it's awesome because it showcases like how flexible your brain is and how creative individuals are, instead of just going, oh well, one creative person found out how this works, I'm gonna be able to pilot this really well with a lot of practice and then articulate it. You know, like the meta will become that after even a small amount of time, as a month and a half. But the amount of mons that are going to be able to be toyed with, it's just gonna be a lot of fun. So I know this is just a video of me kind of rambling. However, I did want to go over, you know, those few things of there's no Urshifu. Like, there's no Calyrex. Like, this is gonna be a really fun opportunity to get really creative. And I know like a lot of individuals are gonna be like, oh well, you know, Dondozo is a thing, or, you know, for instance, let's say Blood Moon. Blood Moon's gonna be a thing. And like, yes, comparatively speaking, these mons compared to other Pokemon, they're ridiculous. They are. But like, they're not, in my opinion, they are not half as ridiculous as having to deal with a mon like Calyrex, or a mon like Urshifu, who crits and hits through Protect, where, you know, like, even if you have strategies, those strategies can be easily broken because they can just switch the build of their Urshifu, or they can just switch the build of their Calyrex and find a better way to support their super powered mon. And in this, it's like, yeah, sure, Dondozo Tatsugiri, right? Yeah, that's gonna be the big buff that everybody's gonna be getting. But like, you know, the biggest things that I will tell you guys you all need to look out for: substitute on this mon. Have ways to play around this. If you don't have ways to play around Dondozo, like, you deserve to lose. I hate to be brutal, but like, there are plenty of ways you can beat Dondozo. Because Dondozo, yes, has a lot of ways that you can run it, but there's one huge weakness to Dondozo that I will tell each and every single one of you that are really wanting to compete this season that beat it, and so many people just like think, oh, Clear Smog or Haze or whatever those types of things are. No, like, you can Glamora, Toxic Debris, okay? Its weakness is once it sets up, it can't switch. There are so many things that you can do, like Toxic Debris, like I'm saying. You can run Perish Song. Perish Song is a move where it's gonna die in 3 turns. Just be able to live it. Build a smart team. Have fun building that team. Murkrow, super good mon that can come back and actually be really useful with Haze. And Murkrow's not broken. Murkrow's not a broken Pokemon, but it's a Pokemon that can be used to be able to help your matchups into stuff like Dondozo. Like I'm saying, there are things that beat it. Like, if you're playing a Dondozo player that, like, is like, oh, well, your team specifically beats mine, it's like, there are so many teams that can specifically beat Dondozo. You just need to have one button for it. That's it. You need to have one Mon that can help you with that matchup. Because yes, this Mon is built to sweep, okay? Like it is. It is built to sweep. It gets things like Order Up. It gets things like Wave Crash. Like I said, Substitute. You can run Clear Amulet. You can run a Stall Set with leftovers. It gets Body Press, so you can make it defensive. Like, this Mon is supposed to be oppressive, but in the same sense, like, to be honest with you, look at how slow. It's like, you're gonna have to invest all that speed, right? And it's like, oh, well, you know, the power level is gonna be way down. Well, let me tell you a Mon that I think of right away that can actually beat it. And that's going to be Meowscarada. Consistent crits, you're gonna force it to Terra, and then you can play around like that. You know, like, there's gonna be plenty of ways that you can end up just going through Dondozo. But even more than that, let's even talk about, like, Blood Moon. Blood Moon or Saluna, I think, is gonna be a little bit even more of a problem than Dozo is. Like, Blood Moon's going to be very scary. But in the same sense, like, I want you guys to know that there's gonna be answers to that. Like, just get creative, have fun with it. Because of the fact of the matter is, it's like, Blood Moon, right? My favorite Pokemon, Blastoise, can beat it. It'll force it to Terra, because Blastoise gets Water Spout. It's like, oh, well, its teammates can support it to where Blastoise can't beat it. It's like, Blastoise also gets moves like Hydro Cannon and, like, Wave Crash. You can run it physical. Like, what I'm trying to say is a Mon as honest to God weak as Blastoise can be an answer into Ursaluna. Like, it can be. Like, that's the pros, and the cons, I will say, are, you know, like I'm saying, a few matchups. To be honest, our Chaladon Rain is going to be ridiculous. Like, this will be a matchup that's going to be hard, because you can run Pelipper, you can run Politoed, and Politoed is one of those Mons where it gets Perish Song, so you do that. You know, like, cores like, you know, Imson, Rilla, and Amoonguss, like, all together, that's gonna be something scary. Like, you know, a core just like this is gonna be really hard to break, because there's not gonna be, you know, that super powerful legendary that people are used to. But I want you guys to realize there are still really strong Mons. Really good ways to counter this kind of stuff. Like, I just want to encourage everybody to really, like, dig in and start to think, like, okay, this is a meta that I want to dive into. This is something that I want to be able to play and just have fun with. Like, it's gonna be fun. I promise every single person this is gonna actually be a pretty decent meta. Like, I'm so excited for this, because it is literally cutting out a lot of broken Mons. Yes, there are still some very strong Pokemon that are in this. There are. Like, there really are. However, and, you know, you can even go, like, Porygon 2, right? Like, look at this team. Oh, man. Oh, no. How are we gonna break a team like this? It's like, easily. Get creative. Have fun. Like, it's gonna be, like, boom. There's a team right there. There you go. There's the team. But it's gonna be a lot easier than people are giving it credit for. You know, like, let's say I'm gonna just choose a whole bunch of underused Mons, like Blastoise and Dragapult. Even though, yeah, it's an OU, I don't care. It's a Mon that hasn't been used very much. You know, like something like Ceruledge, Annihilate is gonna be incredible. We all know how strong Mouseape is. Mouseape's back, but it's gonna be a little bit different. Because there are different tools that you can utilize. Excadrill T-Tar, like, oh, I don't see anybody talking about that. That's gonna be incredible. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And, you know, we think about the Prankster Mons. Like, let's think about the Mons that are gonna start seeing some usage. Like, could we start seeing more Grafaiai? Could we start seeing some more Illumise and Volby? Like, I don't know, just some weird stuff. Like, that's the fun part about these metas. And like, you know, being able to see like, oh, well, does another Prankstermon get Sandstorm? Or just creative things. I just really wanted to get my thought process out on this because like, I truly think that this is going to be such a fun opportunity in Pokemon because the power level isn't going to be just astronomical anymore. Like, it's going to actually be something manageable where you're not just going to see one Mon and go, ugh, really? Like, and really, like I'm saying, if you don't have an answer to Dondozo, like, I know a majority of people in VGC have played Reggae. If you don't have an answer for Dondozo, that's kind of your fault. Like, it really is. Like, if you look at a Dondozo and you're like, oh man, my team's not built for Dondozo, it's like, it in this meta, it always needs an answer. And the answer literally can be something as quick as this. There's my Dozo answer. Or legitimately speaking, like I said earlier, I'm gonna run Lapras and it's gonna be my Perish Song Mon. Like, Dozo's not breaking Lapras. It's just not. Like, it's not going to. And Mons like Lapras are gonna be so good. I do think Rillaboom is going to be incredible. I will say that immediately right now. I think if you guys thought Rillaboom was good now, wait, you guys just wait. Like, I think Rillaboom is gonna be the best it's been ever, almost, in this format. Just because of the fact that it is so strong. Like, it can hit so hard with its grass moves. Like, especially, like, let's say you just, you know, just run a Choice Band. Like, the calcs you're going to be running into are crazy with this Mon. It's insane what it can do. So, I would just encourage everybody. I wanted to make this video just because this regulation is going to be so much fun. And I really wanted to gather some thoughts on this. So, you know, 12-minute video, super quick, but I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts together and just kind of build around discussion and hopefully get some people talking about it. You know, this probably won't be like one of the most revered to videos or anything like that, but I wanted to get my thoughts out and just kind of ramble, because, yeah, it's going to be a ramble, and that's okay. I just really do want to say, like, this is going to be so much fun. It's going to be back to what Pokemon really is and has been, because I'm going to be honest, like, the broken Mons, they're fun for a little bit, because it's funny. You know, you click the funny button, but, like, there are literally, like, these two Mons right here, even my favorite restricted to use, which is right here, okay? Right here. Even my favorite restricted, it's ridiculous what it can do. Like, it's ridiculous what it can do. And if you don't have an answer for it, it literally will sweep your team. Like I'm saying with Dozo, like, Dozo's not half as bad as Miraidon. Literally, I made a video the other day, Miraidon one-shot a Wo-Chien and an Eternatus with Electro Drift. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that is a ridiculous amount of damage. And, like, the Ruin Mons even. Chien-Pao's incredible. Like, it is such a brutal force of nature. And to, like, have these things in Chi-Yu, you know, if it can hit its moves, it does amazing. But I'm just so excited. I'm so thrilled to be able to see a meta that they're stepping back. Like, that's so cool. That's so cool to see that they are stepping back and, like, going through and being like, you know what? Let's not do 2 restricteds. Let's just make it to where no legendary Pokemon at all are even in it. And let's see what happens. And that's so cool. It's so fun. It's so fun. So I'm going to be building some teams as soon as the ladder gets on. I'll do probably a video just getting the Master Ball super quick. Definitely going to be making a lot of teams with my favorite Pokemon Blastoise. But I'm going to be making a lot of different actually good cores, because I don't know, this type of stuff is where I thrive. I love the non-restricted meta because there are so many mons that you can make viable that so many people don't really see, so there's still room for that surprise element. There's still room for that caught you off guard kind of thing, and it's so fun. Even an open team sheet, like, you know, people are looking at Blastoise special attack 85, like, what is that? It's like Hydro Cannon, like Terra Water, Mystic Water, Hydro Cannon from a Blastoise is going to one-shot a majority of things in the game. And that's awesome. That's it. And there's so much ways to counterplay against it. Like, so many ways to counterplay against that. But that's the fun part, is people have to be adaptive. They have to be able to, like, work their teams. They have to learn new teams. They have to play new teams and not just stick with the one. And that's going to be so fun. Yeah, King Gambit's going to be really good again, too. So, but, you know, that's back to me rambling again. I don't know, I'm just excited. I want to share this excitement. I want to be able to let people know, like, mons like Quaquaval, like, let's get these mons to, like, higher heights than they've ever been. Like, it's cool to see this kind of stuff, you know? It'll be fun. Alright, enough rambling from me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Continue to live large. Thank you all.